Imagine an indomitable spark refusing to be extinguished, a fragile soul emerging from despair with eyes that shone like defiant embers in a world determined to break her spirit. In a quiet suburban home, where sunlight and shadows danced across worn wooden floors, a small dog named Bella made her silent declaration: she would not surrender to the darkness that threatened to engulf her. Bella's early days had been marked by joy and endless energy. As a tiny puppy, she romped through the house with a clumsy grace, chasing stray beams of light and delighting in the simplest moments. But one crisp autumn afternoon, a sudden misfortune altered the course of her life forever. While playing near the garden, Bella slipped on damp leaves scattered by an unexpected storm. In that split second, she landed awkwardly, and an excruciating pain shot through her fragile body. Her family's immediate concern turned into a relentless quest for understanding as they discovered that Bella's hind legs had lost their strength. The diagnosis was both heartbreaking and baffling, a paralysis that defied the natural order of her boundless puppyhood. At first, the living room felt suffocating, every familiar corner a reminder of the vibrant life that had once been effortless. Yet in that same room, amidst whispered reassurances and tearful vows, Bella's eyes told a story of stubborn resolve. Her world had shrunk to the soft embrace of blankets and the gentle touch of those who cared for her, but it was in that intimacy that her true strength began to reveal itself. Every strained attempt to stand and every subtle twitch of her tail became a symbol of her relentless spirit. The family watched with bated breath, wondering if this small creature, battling an unseen enemy within her own body, would ever find a way to reclaim the freedoms of her youth. The journey took them first to the sterile, fluorescent-lit corridors of a veterinary clinic, a place filled with both hope and the heavy scent of antiseptics. Here, Bella underwent countless examinations, her progress monitored with careful notes and measured tests. The veterinarian, a kind yet matter-of-fact professional, explained that while there were therapies to ease her pain and exercises to keep her agile, the road ahead would be long and unpredictable. In that moment, as Bella lay quietly on the examination table, the room seemed to pulse with a strange mix of clinical detachment and raw emotion. Every pause, every soft hum of reassurance from her caregiver, served as a reminder that even in the most sterile surroundings, the pulse of life could rebel against the odds. Despite the clinical impersonalities, the family clung to hope. They began a regimen of gentle physical therapy at home, a small, sunlit room transformed into a sanctuary for Bella's recovery. As warm afternoon light pooled by the window, Bella's determination shone brighter than ever. With careful, loving guidance, her legs were coaxed into subtle movements. Each minute of progress was celebrated with tender words and soft, comforting touches. The walls of that room bore silent witness to these quiet battles, where hope and despair tangoed in the delicate rhythm of each new day. In every whispered "good job" and every quiet pat on her head, there lay an unspoken promise: as long as Bella drew breath, giving up was never an option. The warmth of home was sometimes contrasted by moments of harsh clarity when Bella would gaze out the window at the sprawling park across the street, a place where she once ran unfettered, barking joyfully at fluttering leaves and chirping birds. That park, filled with ordinary wonders and subtle chaos, became a symbol of all that she could still aspire to. On one particularly sunny morning, as the neighborhood awakened to the ordinary sounds of life, the distant hum of conversation, the soft rumble of passing cars, Bella was wheeled out in her little cart. The transition from confinement to the open air was jarring, as the everyday world seemed both familiar and entirely new. At first, the vibrant playground of sights and sounds overwhelmed her. Children's laughter, the rustle of leaves, and even the murmuring wind carried memories of what once was. Yet, as time passed, something transformative occurred. With every gentle push of the cart, Bella's gaze grew steadier, more courageous. The park transformed into a crucible of emotions, a place where the strains of ordinary life intermingled with sudden, unexpected bursts of raw vulnerability. In that park, beneath the generous spread of an ancient oak tree, Bella encountered moments that were as unsettling as they were beautiful. A sudden gust of wind, laden with the scent of distant rain, stirred an uncanny feeling in her heart, as if the whisper of change was carried in the air. The playful chirping of birds wove with an almost melancholic tune, creating a sonic tapestry that elevated the surreal nature of that quiet morning. Her family, watching from a discreet distance, exchanged glances filled with both wonder and trepidation. They knew that behind every serene moment lay the shadow of uncertainty, an unspoken acknowledgement of life's fragile equilibrium. Back at home, in the comfortable sanctuary of the living room, traces of Bella's journey remained visible everywhere. The once chaotic jumble of scattered toys now formed a quiet memorial to her vibrant past. A faded, chewed-up ball rested on a corner rug, a silent testament to happier days. Every afternoon, as soft sunlight filtered through the lace curtains, Bella's eyes would focus on that spot with a mix of yearning and resolute determination, as if recalling a distant memory of how it felt to be free. Here, her family too experienced subtle shifts, a growing understanding that while the world had changed, it was Bella's unwavering heart that held the key to new beginnings. The slow progression of recovery was interspersed with unexpected episodes that challenged the very notion of normalcy. One chilly evening, as the sky darkened earlier than usual, the quiet hum of the household was pierced by a series of unforeseen sounds. A misplaced item rattled on a shelf, the sudden clatter reverberating through the corridors like an omen. In that tense silence, Bella's eyes flickered with alertness. It was as if she sensed that the world, despite its mundane routines, could still harbor moments of inexplicable disquiet. Her family, shaken by the unexpected disturbance, gathered together, their faces etched with concern and a silent vow to protect the fragile hope that Bella embodied. Despite these unsettling incidents, Bella's journey was underscored by moments of extraordinary tenderness. In the warmth of her family's embrace and the gentle murmur of everyday life, she found solace. The calm was punctuated by bursts of energy, a courageous glance, a stubborn twitch of a paw that spoke volumes. Each small victory was a crescendo in the symphony of her recovery, a testament to the resilience encoded in every heartbeat. As the days flowed into weeks, the once timid glances of a paralyzed dog transformed into a steady spark of determination. Bella learned to navigate her altered world with a grace that belied her struggles, reminding everyone around her that life, however altered by fate, was still a beautiful canvas waiting to be painted with moments of defiant hope. In the backdrop of these shifting realities, a particular evening at home became etched into memory. The soft patter of rain on the roof resonated with the quiet determination of a solitary soul. Inside, the flickering lamp cast long shadows across the floor, mingling with the echoes of whispered prayers and unspoken dreams. Bella, nestled in her favorite cushion by the window, appeared almost ethereal, a small beacon of perseverance in a world too vast and complex to comprehend fully. Her eyes, reflecting the quiet storm outside, narrated a saga of silent struggles and a ceaseless yearning to transcend the limitations imposed by circumstance. It was in these subtle moments, when the ordinary converged with the mysterious cadence of life, that Bella's journey revealed its most profound truths. Through every trial, be it the clinical sterility of a vet's office or the raw vulnerability of an open park, the undercurrent of Bella's existence remained unchanged. Her spirit radiated a quiet yet unyielding conviction that no setback was insurmountable. With each gentle nudge from her caregivers, every encouraging word softly spoken as she wobbled on uncertain legs, the notion of surrender faded further into oblivion. Bella's life was a tapestry woven from threads of despair and bursts of inspiring resilience, a narrative where the mundane clashed with unforeseen moments of intense emotion. In this unfolding saga, Bella emerged not just as a victim of circumstance, but as a silent herald of possibility. Her journey, chronicled in the small spaces between a wagging tail and a trembling step, defied the logic of those who saw only limitations. As the living room turned into a gallery of memories, each item and faded photograph capturing the passage of time, Bella's presence was a reminder that in every quiet moment lay the potential for awe-inspiring transformation. And so, as evening melted into night, her family found themselves both humbled and emboldened by her steadfast courage, a gentle rebellion against despair that resonated deeply within every heart present. Every beat of her tiny heart echoed the powerful rhythm of life itself, a reminder that when passion and determination converge, even the bleakest circumstances can be illuminated by the promise of tomorrow. The boundaries of everyday reality blurred, hinting at an inner sanctum of profound strength where a paralyzed dog refused to be defined by her limitations. Instead, Bella's eyes gleamed with the fierce light of hope, a quiet testament to what it truly means to live, to endure, and to cherish every fleeting moment of existence. Bella's silent struggle continued as the days bled into weeks, each moment a delicate interplay of uncertainty and hope. In the soft glow of a new morning, as pale light seeped through sheer curtains, her family gathered around her with gentle determination. The once frail creature, cradled in a supportive sling on the worn carpet of the living room, exuded an aura that belied the fragility of her body. Her tired eyes shimmered with fierce resolve, while every small attempt to shift her weight revealed a spark of defiance against the ever-looming specter of limitation. In the quiet of that morning, as the family sat in hushed solidarity, Bella's progress, however minute, became a ritual of its own. The familiar sound of a creaking floorboard mingled with soft murmurings of encouragement. It was the sound of perseverance wrapped in vulnerability, a fragile balance between relentless effort and the weight of inevitable setbacks. With each tentative nudge of a paw, Bella was rewriting the narrative of her existence. She was no longer merely a victim of circumstance, she had become a poignant symbol of relentless hope. The living room, once a repository of everyday memories, now served as an intimate stage for this quiet revolution. The smell of brewing coffee and the muted hum of a television in the background provided a stark contrast to the intensity of her struggle. A simple cushion, worn by the touch of numerous hearts, cradled her head as her eyes darted back and forth, watching, waiting, daring the world to challenge her resolve. The family, each silently bound by the same deep, ineffable love for this small creature, became co-conspirators in an unspoken battle, a daily contest against despair and a commitment to reclaim the beauty hidden within loss. One particular afternoon, when rain tapped a rhythmic beat on the window pane, the gentle throb of a heartbeat echoed the pulse of change. Bella's caregivers had arranged a series of small but significant exercises, each meticulously designed to coax movement from the shadowed confines of her paralysis. In the midst of these sessions, as raindrops raced down the glass, there was a moment, a fleeting, electric moment, when Bella's eyes locked onto a far-off memory of unencumbered joy. It was as if she recalled those sunlit days of boundless running, and the recollection sparked something within her. With a hesitance that soon gave way to an almost palpable urgency, a subtle shift occurred. Her hind legs, betraying the years of neglect and pain, responded with a twitch, a quiver that pulsed like a rallying cry from deep within. The house, with its hushed corners and familiar trappings, bore witness to this revelation. Amid the soothing cadence of raindrops and the murmurs of quiet encouragement, Bella made a small, almost imperceptible movement, a subtle arch of her back, a delicate press against the soft blanket beneath her. Her family's eyes filled with tears of unspoken awe, mirroring the whirlwind of emotion swirling within. Every gesture, so seemingly insignificant, was a declaration of defiance, a battle cry against a fate that had once reduced her world to a suffocating confinement of stillness. Outside, the park that had once symbolized the unfettered joy of childhood beckoned once again. That cherished haven of ordinary delights, where the rustle of leaves whispered ancient secrets and the laughter of children wove the fabric of fleeting memories, now loomed as a beacon of possibility. With cautious optimism, the family decided to venture back into that familiar embrace. Bella was gently transferred from the confines of her indoor sanctuary onto a specially modified cart. The transition, as delicate as a promise, was executed with tender care. The park's entrance welcomed them like the threshold of a well-revered temple, an altar of modest miracles where nature itself seemed to conspire with hope. As the cart creaked along the gravel path, the air shifted, the everyday symphony of the park filled with the rustle of wind-blown foliage, the distant chime of a bicycle bell, and the occasional chirp of a hidden bird. Amid these comforting sounds, an undertone of restlessness prevailed. Bella's gaze, now wide and alert, scanned the periphery as though the world before her was laden with hidden truths waiting to be unraveled. The park, bathed in shifting patterns of light and shadow, exuded both tranquility and an inexplicable edge of apprehension. Here, in this delicate juncture between past comforts and present challenges, every step forward was interlaced with the promise of new beginnings and the looming uncertainty of lingering limitations. A sudden interruption shattered the fragile stillness, a deep, resonant bellow of the wind stirring the ancient oak trees, causing the canopy to sway as if mimicking the uncertain rhythm of Bella's beating heart. In that moment, the park transformed from an idyllic retreat into a landscape punctuated by nature's inscrutable moods. The gust rattled loose petals from a nearby flower bed, sending them swirling in a surreal dance around Bella's cart. Her eyes, still defiant yet betraying a wistful sadness, followed the chaotic flight of the delicate blossoms. It was as if nature itself mourned the loss of the carefree puppy she once was, while also celebrating the courage it took to face each new day with fragile determination. Back at home, evening crept in unhurriedly, painting the walls with a soft amber glow. The day's trials and triumphs merged into a quiet reflection of the intricate interplay between fragility and strength. In a modest corner of the living room, the photograph of Bella as a playful pup, her eyes sparkling with unrestrained joy, sat side by side with a candid snapshot taken during one of her small victories. The images, almost reverential in their quiet testimony, served as a silent reminder that every moment of struggle was interwoven with the threads of hope and quiet resilience. That night, as a gentle drizzle replaced the daytime downpour, the household fell into a reflective hush. In the stillness of the darkened room, shadows danced across walls, elongating and contracting with the sigh of the wind outside. Every heartbeat, every soft sigh from Bella, carried the weight of the day's struggles and the promise of tomorrow's small miracles. The family gathered near her, their presence a luminous circle of unwavering support. They exchanged looks filled with both despair and a dawning awareness that even in the depths of perceived limitation, there was an irresistible and transformative beauty in the raw human and animal spirit. In the quiet that enveloped them, Bella's eyes glistened with renewed intensity, a silent communique to those who understood that hope was not an abstract idea, but something tangible, manifest in every small effort and every determined glance. It was a moment suspended in time, where the world's noise receded, leaving in its wake only the soft cadence of shared resilience. The delicate interplay of light and shadow on her face seemed to sketch the contours of a deeper truth, that life's most profound battles are often waged in moments of quiet solitude, and that even the most battered souls can find a way to rekindle a light that even the darkest days cannot quell. As the hours unfolded into the early stirrings of dawn, a subtle but unmistakable change began to weave itself into the fabric of Bella's existence. In the dim light of the recovering morning, she stirred with a gentleness that belied the intensity of her inner resolve. The family, half awake and filled with tender anticipation, saw in her soft movements the echo of an extraordinary will to live. No longer was she merely a fragile figure ensnared by the cruel tricks of fate, she had become an embodiment of a quiet, ineffable defiance, a living testament that even when the body feels caged, the spirit can soar beyond its confines. In that fragile hour before the day fully broke, the home seemed to hold its breath in reverence. Every ordinary detail, a clock ticking steadily on the wall, the low murmur of night receding in the cool pre-dawn, the gentlest stirring of a breeze, melded into a singular symphony of hope. Bella's once timid eyes now radiated with an intensity that seemed to challenge the very notion of limitation. As her paw shifted once more, a small, deliberate movement that defied the inertia of months, it was as if the universe itself paused to acknowledge this quiet but irrevocable triumph. In the tender communion between Bella and her family, there emerged a profound lesson that life, no matter how altered by fate's whims, is an endless canvas awaiting the strokes of determination and heart. Each fleeting moment, every tremor of a paw, every cautious inhale, wrote a new verse in the ongoing epic of existence, a narrative of pain interlaced with hope, despair mingled with perseverance, and the unyielding belief that every ending harbors the seed of an unforeseen beginning. Within the simplicity of that fragile, transforming dawn, Bella's journey reached an exquisite crescendo, a moment of clarity where the boundaries between limitation and possibility blurred. Here, in the quiet glow of morning, the weight of past sorrows gave way to an emerging promise that transcended the daily struggle. In that radiant stillness, surrounded by a family whose unwavering love had been her steadfast ally, Bella's eyes sparkled like twin beacons of undeniable willpower. The magic of that moment lay not in grandiose gestures or dramatic resolutions, but in the minute, painstaking defiance of a battered soul determined to remind everyone present that life's beauty lies in its resilience, its capacity to transform even the most daunting setbacks into quiet, powerful acts of defiance. In the days that followed, as light and shadow continued their eternal dance across the modest home and the familiar park beckoned with its bittersweet charms, Bella's journey became an emblem of transformation, a subtle, stirring reminder that hope can flourish even when the world seems to conspire against it. Her every movement, each gentle shift of posture, echoed with the silent promise that the struggle, however relentless, was not fought in isolation. Instead, it resonated across the hearts of those who bore witness, a shared song of everyday miracles emerging in the face of adversity. For those who followed her story, Bella was not simply a paralyzed dog bound by physical limitations, she was a living narrative of endurance, an embodiment of a truth that transcended the ordinary, that every spark of life, no matter how fragile, carries within it the potential to ignite an inferno of hope, courage, and redemption. In that unwavering, defiant gaze, the world saw the reflection of its own hidden resilience, a subtle, persistent reminder that even when battered by life's unexpected tempests, the spirit can rise, shining brightly against the encroaching dark. And so, as the final light of dawn yielded to the fullness of day, Bella's gentle spirit continued to forge a path forward, one deliberate, heartfelt step at a time. In the comforting cadence of everyday sounds, the silent courage of a small dog became a stirring narrative of life's ceaseless pursuit of beauty amid adversity. Her story, etched into the hearts of all who witnessed it, served as an enduring beacon, a testament to the quiet yet unyielding triumph of hope over despair, and an invitation to find strength in even the most modest moments of perseverance.